यावत् पवनो निवसति देहे तावत् पृच्छति कुशलं गेहे। गतवति वायौ देहापाये भार्या बिभ्यति तस्मिन् काये। बालस्तावत् क्रीडासक्तः तरुणस्तावत् तरुणीसक्तः। वृद्धस्तावत् चिन्तासक्तः परमे ब्रह्मणि कोऽपि न सक्तः। काते कान्ता कस्ते पुत्रः संसारोऽयमतीव विचित्रः। कस्य त्वं कः कुत आयातः तत्त्वं चिन्तय तदिह भ्रातः। सत्सङ्गत्ते निस्सङ्गत्वं निस्सङ्गत्वे निर्मोहत्वम्। निर्मोहत्वे निश्चलतत्वं निश्चलतत्वे जीवन्मुक्तिः। वयसि गते कः कामविकारः शुष्के नीरे कः कासारः। क्षीणे वित्ते कः परिवारः ज्ञाते तत्त्वे कः संसारः।
ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। Reference Bhaja Govindam, verse number 9. You said, on the ladder of growth, all are practices only. Cause and effect are ruled out. I'm still not sure about the practices at each stage of the ladder of growth. Please help me to understand them better. Okay, first one. So then, does Nissanga mean satsang, external company, is either minimally needed or no longer needed to prevent the mind from straying while practicing? Again, does Nissanga mean satsang, external company, is either minimally needed or no longer needed to prevent the mind from straying while practicing? Satsanga means external company. That comes from outside. When you try to practice, when you try to do the spiritual practices by your own self, the mind tend to get distracted. Start from there. You want to do the spiritual practices by yourself. When you want to do the spiritual practices by yourself, the mind will not cooperate. So how to make the mind cooperate? A like-minded group is essential. Satsang, good company. By following the practice of satsang, is it the satsang that is actually helping you, or you making right use of the satsang that is helping you? Both. First the satsang, and you need to know how to make right use of the satsang. Then only it is beneficial. So once you start making right use of the satsang, over a period of time, what happens? Nissanga happens. What does Nissanga means? That which you are associated with previously in relation to the world, you start getting detached from it. Are you able to follow? From Dussanga, carefully follow the sequence. From Dussanga, by the practice of Satsanga, Nissanga will happen. Nissanga from what? Nissanga from Satsanga or Nissanga from Dussanga? Nissanga from Dussanga happens. Are you able to follow? That is what is meant as the first practice. Is it clear?
No.
The first practice? Again, I repeat. In the earlier stages, what are you associating with? World. World means world, and all worldly associations are called Dussanga. Why associations are called Dussanga? Any association that makes you forget the divine is Dussanga, bad company. Now, for whatever reasons, you wanted to remember the divine and evolve spiritually. Now, you need all that you cannot do it by yourself, because we saw that already. A sapling needs a fence. So, Satsanga becomes the fence. Now, when you are practicing Satsanga, Nissanga happens, he said. Satsangatve Nissangatvam. Now, when you are practicing Satsanga, Nissanga happens. Now, the question is, Nissanga from what? That should be the next question. Nissanga from what? From what you will disassociate. Dussanga, you will disassociate. Are you able to follow? So, the practice of Satsanga will lead to Nissanga from Dussanga.
The question is, what is the practice in Nissanga?
First, understand what is Nissanga. Then I'll come to from Satsanga to Nissanga. Have you understood Satsanga first? I'm coming from step by step. From Satsanga, come to Nissanga. Don't worry about the Nissanga practice now. Understand the Satsanga practice. What is Satsanga practice? Satsanga practice is moving away. That moving away will lead to Nissanga. What is Nissanga means? Fourth time I'm defining. What is Nissanga means? You move away from Dussanga. That moving away sometimes happens effortlessly. Sometimes you have to make a lot of effort. That moving away from Dussanga happens with effort. So what are you actually doing in Nissanga? What is the practice of Nissanga? Whenever the mind goes to Dussanga, you redirect the mind back to Satsanga. First you do Satsanga. Mind will not cooperate to be in Satsanga all the time. The mind wants to go back to Dussanga. Now what do? You sometimes you consciously make an effort to move from Dussanga so that you can come back to Satsanga. That is the practice of Nissanga. So what are you doing in Nissanga? You are convinced that you have to come back to Satsanga and you are moving away from Dussanga. This is the actual practice of Nissanga. When you mature into this, what will happen? when you mature in by doing this practice, what do you have? What will happen? You will not need satsanga whenever the mind goes into the world, even without the help of satsanga, you can come back to your spiritual practices. ரெண்டு ஸ்டேஜ் இருக்குது. Stage number 1 is go back to satsanga. Stage number 2 is what? Even without the help of satsanga, you can come back to nissanga. You can come back to the spiritual practices. So at one level, you need association. At another level, you don't need association. This is the practice in nissanga.
So is this question rightly framed that you either minimally need satsang or you don't need satsang
Yes.
at all because you are able to do it?
Yes.
So this is right.
That is correct.
Okay.
That is correct. Next one. Next book. I am taking one at a time. நிறைய படிச்சா நியூஸ் ரீடர் மாதிரி ஆயிடுறது. Does practicing satsanga mean engaging in elaborate activities for sense control alongside like-minded individuals? Yes. Practicing satsanga means engaging in elaborate activities. Correct. And does practicing nissanga involve continuing the same ritualistic activities of sense control without the presence of external company? Yes. Involve continuing the same activities. You can do it by yourself. As a group, you can sit and sing bhajans. You can sit and sing the bhajans all by yourself. Are you able to understand the difference? Meaning, is nissanga a condensed version of the elaborate and detailed ritualistic practices performed during satsanga, but carried out without the company of others and according to a pre-established schedule? Yes. That's what it means. You don't do it with a group. You do it by yourself. Nischala Tattvam again is a practice where it is a practice of japa. Correct. You take a mantra, you just take one name and repeat. Does it mean in Nirmoha that precedes Nischala Tattvam, one practices various names as Sahasranama and with reduced to no ritualistic details? Correct. As you grow in spiritual practices, don't use the word ritualistic practices, use the word the need for action reduces. Don't use the word ritualistic practices because we have such a contempt against the word ritualistic practices. We think ritualistic practices are very, very, very superficial, stupid, superstitious. We don't have the right understanding of the ritualistic practices. Therefore, instead of using the word ritualistic practices, use the word karma, because ritualistic practices are karma. So as you evolve spiritually, the need for karma reduces. Correct. The need for karma reduces, you should put. Don't use the word ritualistic practices. It is not the wrong word. Ritualistic practices is not the wrong word. But because of our wrong understanding of what is ritual and ritualistic practice, I am using the word karma. Why? Because according to us, ritualistic practice means it is mechanical. Anything mechanically done, we call it as ritual. Are you able to follow? Anything mechanically done, we call it as a ritual. We call it as ritual means it is mechanical. Ritual means it is something done like the tape recorder, no? You can put the Sahasranama on the tape recorder and it can go on repeating. Sometimes, they have those instruments now, no? Musical instruments. You put the Gayatri mantra and the whole day it can keep repeating. And after 2 minutes, it becomes a sound. It becomes a sound in the background. After 15 minutes, your ears simply stop listening to that. For the first few seconds, it will listen. After 1 or 2 minutes, it becomes a sound. And finally, what will happen to that? It simply becomes your ears become deaf to it, as it were. It won't make anything. It won't make anything. You won't feel anything. Remember the cousin's house that we go? We have a cousin. His house is right on the Mambalam railway station. You open the window, you can see the Mambalam railway station platform announcement you can hear. And you know what is Mambalam railway station? No? For those who don't know what is Mambalam railway station, Google it. Google auntie will tell you the noise, the sound, 24 hours non-stop train keeps going. And when those express train comes, the horn, it starts. You go there every 10 seconds. It's so. And they all can sleep blissfully in that without getting disturbed by that. Now, what has happened there? What has happened there? The ears become deaf, as it were. The ears become deaf, as it were. We have assumed ritualistic practices means that. You follow? The essential quality of a religious person is prayer. Remember that. The essential quality of a religious person is prayer.
I have a question.
Yes.
The definition of dutsang
Yes.
is very difficult to digest.
Yes.
Anything that we contact the word, you say it is dutsang. But I do need basic things, right?
Yes.
Food, clothing, shelter. How can I not contact the word for that?
Yes. Aparna is saying change the definition. Change your definitions. Your definitions and all is wrong, she is saying.
No.
Ganesh, when she comes, ask her why she is saying that. She is asking me to change the definition. The definition of dussanga is difficult to digest, to accept. The definition of dussanga, that any association that makes you to forget the divine is dussanga, not the world. The food, the clothing, the shelter, the basics, everything I need. If I can connect it to the remembrance of the divine and pursuit of divine, then it is not dussanga. Then it is not dussanga. Again, I repeat, all the activities that I do for the survival, the material needs, the physical needs, the emotional, all that the person needs, doing activities for that is not dussanga. When you do that, the ultimate purpose of why you are doing it is forgotten. Remember, we always say means and ends. I say means the plural, end has to be singular. The means in plural and end in singular. The various means that I adopt, the end is remembering the divine is the end. So anything that you do, if you know how to connect it with remembering the divine, then it doesn't become a dussanga. If anything that you pursue, making you to forget the divine, then it becomes dussanga. So the definition of dussanga is what? That which makes you forget the divine is dussanga. Body has to be taken care of. For the body that has to be taken care of, certain things are needed. For those things that are needed, one has to work for it and earn it. I can't be dependent on, I should not be dependent on anybody else. I should do it by myself. When I do that, I have to remember why I am doing this. Why am I doing this? I am doing this so that I can remember the divine and get back to the end, which is singular. So all activities, if you connect it to the singular end, then it is called satsanga. If that singular end is forgotten, then it is known as dussanga. It means what? All activities has to be done. Remembrance of the purpose of those activities has to happen. Remembering the purpose. It has to be done. If I don't remember the purpose, then it becomes dussanga. Then only it becomes dussanga. You follow? So it is not the activity that is dussanga. It is that activity making me to forget the divine is dussanga. Are you able to follow? Activity is not dussanga. Activity that makes me to forget the divine. You follow? Dussanga means you believe that you have to take care of yourself. Dussanga means you believe that you have to do actions to take care of yourself. What does satsang means? The right knowledge. You do what you ought to do. You are always taken care of only by the divine. Again, I repeat. You believe you do actions for what? Believing that your actions are going to take care of you. You do an action and that action will fetch you a result and that result is going to take care of you. Take care of your material well-being, physical, blah, 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 etc. I'm not going into those lists again and again and again. All that is implied in this. You follow? So I do an action and that action will fetch me a result and that result is going to take care of me. No. I do an action because that's what I ought to. That's what I ought to do. And what is protecting me? Who's protecting me all the time? The protection always comes from the divine, not through the result of my action. Here, the actual spiritual progress starts. Here, the actual spiritual progress starts. You follow? Then what happens if you start developing like this? Every action of yours become a prayer. All actions of yours become a prayer. Which is what I said as the essential quality of the religious person is prayer. When you are matured, all actions will convert into a prayer. In the initial stages, you need to do some specific acts as prayer. In the beginning, in the earlier stages, supposing if you can straight away convert all actions into prayer, you have become very wise already. Scriptures are not needed after that because you are becoming the scripture yourself. A prayerful person is a scripture. Remember that always. That's why do we go and worship the great Mahatmas? Because they themselves are the scriptures. Why they themselves are the scriptures? Because everything that they do is a prayer. Follow. Our misunderstanding of prayer is what? Any prayer, we do linguistic analysis of the prayer. In the initial stages, prayer, we start doing linguistic analysis of the prayer. Linguistic analysis of the prayer I will do. No, sir, I want the meaning of it, I want to know. In prayer, there is no meaning, there is no linguistics thing. You just, prayer is something that is not to be read or intellectualized or understood. Prayer is something that has to be lived. That is the spiritual practice. Venkat, இன்னைக்கு verse number 10 போயிடுறேன். கோச்சுக்காதீங்க. Give me 10 minutes and then I'll move on to verse number 10. Because he's saying you are stuck with verse number 9, move out, he's telling me. Linguistic prayer is not a linguistic analysis. It's not a philosophical content. Have you ever observed scriptures you can understand only when you practice it? Scriptures cannot be understood without practicing it. Take it or leave it. But we are all wanting to understand, isn't it? Scriptures can only be understood when you are intellectually. It is not difficult to understand the scriptures because they are so simple. Intellectually, is it difficult to understand the scripture? It's very easy. It's very simple. People become very proficient, very efficient in repeating the scriptures, and they end with it. At the most, they become very good parrots. At the most, they are very good parrots. Why? Because the focus is on understanding. Here we say the focus should be on practicing. Why do we say that? Carefully follow now. Whatsoever you understand is not right. Kailash, write it down. Whatsoever you understand is not right, because whatsoever you understand, this is the law. Whatsoever you understand, it will reflect your state of mind, not the state of the mind who uttered it. Are you able to follow? It will reflect your state of mind, not the state of mind one who uttered it. So whoever said it, you don't understand that. For you understand only according to your state of. That's why we say your interpretations will always reflect you. That's why we say interpretation is like the mirror. You stand in front of the mirror, your face only. So, and you get supremely contented with that reflection of your face. Why? Because you can never get tired of looking at your face, no? You can stand in front of the mirror and keep looking at yourself. Again, you can look. Again, you can look. Again, you can look. Therefore, the practice is what? Start practicing. Start practicing. Start practicing. Because it is the practice that makes the understanding better. I have given this example any number of times. If you have repeated Gayatri Mantra for a sufficient number of times, the meaning of it will be so inspiring to you. If you have not repeated even once, the meaning of it will not make, oh wow, it's very good, sir. Other than that, nothing happens. Why? Because it will not make you to go back and repeat 108 times. Yeah. Ganesh. Karthala sonnela 108 times. சொல்லணும். You do that. You have been associating with the idol of Ganesha from childhood. The symbolism makes meaning to you. Again, another example. Supposing if you have not been associated with Ganesha at all, what will you ask? What question you will ask? Who's this funny guy, you will ask? With the pot belly and elephant head. Yeah. About Narsimha, what will you ask? Lord Narsimha, what will you ask? Who's this? Who's this ugly looking monster he is? And why are you worshipping him? He looks like a monster. No, Narsimha doesn't look like a Chaturbuja Vishnu from Allah, like a Vishwarupa he is, isn't it? So you will, people, why are you even worshipping a monster? Therefore, Sasangatve, Nisangatvam, Nisangatve, Nirmohatvam, Nirmohatve, all starts with doing. Do first. Do first. That's why it is so easy to tell the child, because the child has a kind of trust and thus understands the meaning. As we age, we deteriorate. That's why aging is the very right word. As we go old, we are actually deteriorating because the trust component goes on reducing. As you are born, the trust, the faith and all is so high, so high, so high. As you keep growing, the trust should multiply. It doesn't. Everything you start, a time will come where at 60, what will happen? Vriddhastavat chintasakta. We are going to see that. Vriddhastavat chintasakta. Are you able to follow? Therefore, scriptures can be understood only if first they are practiced. That's why in Vedanta culture, we had do first, do first, do first. During the course time, anybody has any problem, Swamiji say, follow the schedule for 3 years. Just practice it. How that becomes a solution to the problem? You do it, you understand the solution. So is it to be practiced or is it to be understood? It has to be practiced. Why? Because the mistake in understanding is the interpretation is always going to be yours. The interpretation is yours. You are going to interpret it. And how will you interpret it? According to your mind only, you will interpret. You follow? All, instead of ritualistic activities, use the word karma. And karma is inclusive of prayer. We have seen that any number of times. There is no action without the attitude. Action and attitude goes together. It's two sides to the same coin. So you don't have to separately talk about prayer. Whenever we talk about karma, action, what is implied in that is prayer. But the human ego wants to understand. Nothing happens because unless you understanding itself is not possible if you don't practice it. Okay, without practicing, you understand, you will become a very good parrot. You'll become a very good parrot. And there are a lot of parrots around. Saturday morning, 7:45 to 9 also parroting the. Yeah. You find lot of parrots around. The very Shankaracharya wanted to go and meet Kumarila Bhatta, the guru, one of the persons that he wanted to meet in life and establish the knowledge. So when he went, Kumarila Bhatta already gotten into that. What is the corresponding word? Oven. He already went into the oven and lit the fire to himself. So when Adi Shankara went and met him, Kumarila Bhatta was almost half-baked. It was half-baked. The last sentence that he said is, go and meet Mandan Mishra, because Mandan Mishra is my worthy student. Please go and talk to him. So Shankaracharya comes to meet Mandan Mishra. He comes to the village. He comes to the village house, Agrahara. You understand the village houses, no? Everything will look all houses will look the same structure. Nothing will change. Agrahara houses. So he was walking in the house, afternoon time. He is asking. He didn't know whom to ask. Maybe heat wave declared in that Agrahara on that day. So nobody came out of the house. One lady walked. So he asked, where is Mandan Mishra's house? The lady said, just keep walking on the street. You will find a house where there will be a parrot residing Vedas, he said. There will be a parrot residing Vedas. That house is Mandan Mishra's house. He went. Who's that parrot? Mandan Mishra is the parrot. Yeah, Mandan Mishra, he is the parrot. People misunderstood that. They thought there's an actual parrot sitting outside, chanting. That's how they show nowadays. There will be a parrot. Who is the parrot there? Mandan Mishra himself is the parrot. You follow? Practice it. Practice it. You can hear the word of Shankaracharya. You can hear the word of Buddha. But the word is not Shankaracharya. The word is not Buddha. Through that, something is being conveyed. The effort is to understand that. The effort is to understand that. And that understanding is possible not by understanding the word. That understanding is possible only by you practicing. You follow? And when you practice, it may look very superficial in the beginning. When you practice, it may look very mechanical in the beginning. It may look but whatever we do, we should do it with understanding, no, sir? Don't put the cart before the horse. With understanding, you can't do. You do it. Doing is a conducive mental environment for understanding. Doing makes it a conducive environment for understanding. Do you understand the importance of education and go to school, or you go to school without knowing what it is? How does the process of education start? The process of education starts, you go first. No. Unless I understand the importance of literacy, I will not go to school. Now, when will you understand the importance of literacy? You will understand. But that understanding is of no use. That understanding is of no use. Therefore, what is the other method? Start. That's why he's saying satsanga. Satsangatve nissangatvam. Nissangatve nirmohatvam. Nirmohatve nischalatatvam. Nischalatatve jivan muktihi. Practicing without understanding is like blind faith, no, sir. You are doing something without understanding. Isn't that actually parroting? That should be the question. There is a difference. What is the difference? There is a fundamental difference. What is a fundamental difference? The fundamental difference is when you practice, there is a trust in the practice. There is an element of trust. We don't use the word trust, we use the word shraddha. We use the word shraddha. We don't use the word trust. We use the word shraddha because there is an element of shraddha in the practice. Shraddha comes from where? Shraddha comes from the conviction that your welfare is intended, therefore do it. Since my welfare is intended, I will do it. Just as the child goes to school completely relying on one person. Who's that one person? The child goes to school. The child goes to school relying on one person. Mother or teacher? Huh? Does the child go to school relying on the mother or on the teacher? Teacher comes later. It's the mother. And the only conviction is what? Mother has left me. Therefore, the child walks in. The child walks in with what conviction the child walks in? With what courage the walks in? The trust. The trust comes out learned, educated. Supposing if the child were to say, no, explain the importance of education to me. Unless I understand it fully, I will not go to school. Now, what will you do? By the time it goes to kindergarten, it will be 60 years old. Because at 60 only it will understand the importance of kindergarten. When do you start ABCD? When you understand all that? Therefore, it is the practice. What is the practice? The practice of prayer. Practice of prayer. Sasangatve nisangatvam. And the beauty of the scripture is, it is the trust that makes the logic understandable. It is a shraddha in the scripture. What is shraddha in the scripture? It is meant for your welfare. The moment you understand it is meant for your welfare, the logic becomes very, very appealing. Otherwise, you can do everything like a technician. A technician also does things very rightly, isn't it? Similarly, you can sit and do a puja like a technician does. You can sit and do a puja like you understand what I mean by technician here? There is no prayerfulness. There is he has learnt it, he know how to do it, but one thing is missing. What is it that is missing? The prayer is missing. The prayerfulness is missing. Satsanga is what? The prayerfulness is satsanga. Sasangatve nisangatvam, nisangatve nirmohatvam, nirmohatve nischalatatvam, nischalatatve jivan muktihi. You get liberated. You get liberated when? You get liberated now. Verse number 9. Okay. We'll move to verse number. Mudijada clarifications la? Oh, one more is there. Okay.
Chat, it is there. It is posted on chat.
On the chat that way. Don't make me do so technically confused. You say chant playing full time is noise. If that is put with the intent for remembrance, chant playing full time, if it is not remembered, then it is a noise only. You can play the chant 24/7. You should be playing the chant 24/7. Again, I repeat. The clarification is, I said you put the chant 24 hours in the background, doesn't it become a noise? Yes, it becomes a noise when my mind is distracted. Chant should be happening 24/7. Chant should be happening 24/7. Remember the definition of prayer. It's not a part-time pastime. It's a full-time awareness of the reality, full-time awareness of the truth. It means the chanting should be happening 24/7 constantly. It means it brings the mind back. So it is perfectly all right to do it 24/7 because it helps me to remember. Why I need remembrance? Because I tend to forget. Reminders are needed for what? Reminders are needed so that you tend to forget. You follow? You need reminder for exercising. We don't need reminders for breathing, do we? I need a reminder for exercising, but I don't need a reminder for breathing. It means it has become so much an integral part of you that no external factor is required. Chanting should become like breathing. Remembrance of God should become like breathing, where I don't need any external aid. Beyond a point, external aid gets very difficult. See, nowadays we have stickers that we stick on the refrigerator, isn't it? Reminder stickers are there where it will be stuck on the refrigerator. See, those days there is no stickers, no refrigerator, no nothing. How do they have reminders in the olden days, you know? They tie a knot. They tie a knot. They have a piece of cloth in the sari or the dhoti or anything, you know, sari, dhoti, ellam one type of clothing. You know that, no? Just wrap around. That's all. It's a wrap. That's why it's called a shroud. Stitching lam one way. Why do you need to stitch? Just wrap it around. That's all. But we are all very advanced and scientific. So in those days, they had, now how do they remember? So they tie a knot. After a period of time, you will forget why the knot is there. It means the purpose of the knot itself is forgotten. Are you able to follow? The purpose of the knot itself, like that it happens. The chanting happening in the background, and I don't even register it. What I was talking about is that happening constantly in the background, I don't even register it. Is it okay, ma? So it should happen. It should happen. And every time the mind gets back, the mind gets back. Once it doesn't move, nischala tattvam. We saw that, no? Achala, nischala. We saw all those derivatives, everything we saw in those sessions. Once the nischala tattvam state comes, all the external aids are not needed. Till the nischala tattvam state comes, aids are required. Till the nischala tattvam state comes, aids are required. And aids has to be practiced, and you practice it, you develop an affinity to it, and that affinity makes the logic understandable. Understanding will never develop an affinity. Doing develops an affinity. Are you able to follow the difference between the two? It is doing that develops affinity, not understanding. That's why in the initial stages, we give lot of importance to doing. In Karma Yoga, doing is important. Is charity, do I have to be charitable? Is it to be understood or practiced? Practice. Even without understanding, if you practice charity, you will get the benefit. Correct? Even without understanding the benefit, even without understanding the benefit of charity, you will still get the benefit of charity. You follow? So in Karma Yoga, the benefit comes from doing. In Jnana Yoga, benefit comes from understanding. What does Jnana Yoga means? In Bhaja Govindam, we don't talk about Jnana Yoga a lot. In Atma Bodha, we don't talk about Jnana Yoga a lot. In Bhagavad Gita, we don't talk about Jnana Yoga a lot. 85-90% we don't talk about Jnana Yoga at all. Because Jnana Yoga comes and says there is nothing that needs to be done. There is nothing that needs to be done. You can't understand there is nothing needs to be done and start doing. Because you will never have the motivation to do anything. That is why people come and ask, sir, but Karma Yoga and all is for, Karma Yoga and all is for inferior class of people. No, we are all intellectuals here, superior class of people. His understanding isn't enough, correct? Understanding is enough, but understanding tells you only one thing. What does understand tells you? Understanding tells you only one word, understanding. Understanding teaches you everything in one word. What is that one word that understanding teaches you? Maya. Maya. I'm suffering. Maya. Headache. Maya. Cancer, pain. Maya. Tiger is eating me up. Maya. Does that help you in any way? For others, it is Maya. That way, it is correct. Double standards, isn't it? Correct. When others go through it, definitely it's Maya, sir. When I go through it, definitely it is. What is opposite of Maya? Real. Real. Satyam it is. When I go through pain, my pain is Satyam. When others go through pain, it's Maya. All your pain is Maya to me. Any pain she comes and says, I say Maya. She feels like, strangling me. Jnana doesn't help at all. When I say it doesn't help at all, in the beginning stages, why? Because Jnanam tells everything is Maya. Maya means it's a subject. Maya, there is nothing to do. Maya means it has to be understood as Maya. So till that Nischala Tattvam level where you can understand everything as Maya comes, what is important? Doing. Therefore, you find 90% of the Vedantic scriptures always talks about doing. 10% talks about understanding. But the egoistic mind likes the 10%, it will not like the 90%. That's why anybody comes and, sir, that Maya and all that is so good, sir. Within myself, I tell myself, oh my God, very egoistic you are. Because it appeals to the egoistic mind. Because 90% of the scriptures is always about doing. Bhagavad Gita 11 to 30, he talks about Jnana Yoga. Nasate vidyato bhavaha nabhavo vidyate sataha ubayorapi drishtontaha tvaneyoho tattvadarshibhihi. Verse number 16, 17, chapter 2 Bhagavad Gita. The entire essence of the Sat Jnanam is there. Arjuna would have become a very good parrot, that's all. Nothing would have changed. So what happened in 31? He shifted. Even when he's talking about Sthita Prajna, the established one, the enlightened one, what is the Sthita Prajna sadhana he spoke about? He didn't say meditation. He didn't say sit with her. He didn't say that either. What is the Sthita Prajna sadhana? He said, Vashehi yashyendriyani tasya prajna pratishtita. Now, Vashehi yashyendriyani means you have to do something to bring the senses under control. You have to do something to do all. So, it is right through, it is only doing. Doing develops an affinity for understanding. Doing always develops an affinity for understanding. Is it okay, ma? Mridum? Yeah. Yes.
So, till Nichara Tattvam, we cannot do without aids. We need aids.
Yes. Till Nischala Tattvam, we can't do without aids. Yes. We all need aids till Nischala Tattvam. We need aids. Till that point comes, we need aids. The last aid that you need is a mantra. That is also an external aid only. What does mantra got to do with? What does mantra got to do with Brahman? Mantra is also a sound aid. It is also an aid only. That's why we say till the Nischala Tattvam point, aids are required. Jivan Mukti, nothing is required. You follow? Clarifications over. Sassangatve, Nissangatva. I have developed so much of Sangha with this verse, I don't want to leave this verse. Still, we have to move on. 10 padinga. We'll go to 10.
वयसि गते कः काम विकारः शुष्के नीरे कः का सारः क्षीणे वित्ते कः परिवारः ज्ञाते तत्त्वे कः संसारः वयसि गते कः काम विकारः शुष्के नीरे कः का सारः क्षीणे वित्ते कः परिवारः ज्ञाते तत्ते कः संसारः.
When age is gone, where is the play of lust? When water has dried, where is the lake? When wealth is gone, where is the parivar? Retinue. When knowledge of reality arises, where is terrestrial entanglement? Samsara. Again, when age is gone, where is the play of lust? When water has dried, where is the lake? When wealth is gone, where is the parivar? Retinue. When knowledge of reality arises, where is terrestrial entanglement? Samsara. When knowledge of reality arises, where is samsara? Verse number 10. Kaha, where? Where means it won't be there. It won't be there. When the cause is removed, the effect cannot remain by themselves, is the law. When the cause is removed, the effect cannot remain by themselves. In Sanskrit, it is called Karana Nashe Karya Nasha. In Sanskrit. When the cause is removed, effect cannot. Where is the effect? Because we have seen We have seen it any number of times. The logical premise of Vedanta. The effect is in the cause. The effect is in the cause. The mango tree, which is the effect, is in the cause of mango seed. When that mango seed is roasted or boiled and then planted, what will come out of it? Nothing will come out of it because it's gone. Second, you put a mango seed, coconut tree can never come out of it. The effect of coconut tree can never come out of the mango seed. Why? Because the coconut tree as an effect never ever resided in the mango seed, which is the cause. This is the beautiful. There are certain logical formulas upon which the knowledge is built. Karana nashe karya nasha abdina ajnana nashe samsara nasa. When ajnanam is gone, samsara is gone. What is samsara? One of the beautiful Vedantic word is samsara. Samsara. Adjective to samsara is sagara. Samsara sagara. That's not the meaning of the word samsara. Sagara is an adjective to the word samsara. Samsara sagara, ocean of samsara. Samsara is like an ocean. Like an ocean it is. Ocean na very deep, unfathomable, difficult to cross over. Ocean means very deep, unfathomable. You stand on this side. See, river has two shores. What is the difference between ocean and the river? Oceanuக்கு அந்த side shore பார்க்க முடியாது. In the river, you can see the other side of the shore. In ocean, you can't see. Have you ever seen the other side of the ocean? You only have to turn that side, isn't it? Yeah. It means what? It goes and goes and goes. How much ever you see, it's still unfathomable. How much ever you go, it still remains. That is samsara. Sara means essence. எசன்ஸுக்கு சன்ஸ்கிரிட் வேர்ட் சாரம். தமிழில் கூட அதான் யூஸ் பண்ணுறோம் இல்லையா? வெண்ணெய் இல்லையா? எலுமிச்சை சாறுன்னு என்ன அர்த்தம்? ஸ்ரீகாந்த், எலுமிச்சை சாறுன்னு என்ன அர்த்தம்? த எசன்ஸ் ஆஃப் த லெமன், த ஜூஸ், தி எசன்ஸ். ஸோ சாரா மீன்ஸ் எசன்ஸ். That which it is made up of, the essence. The Sanskrit word sam means good also. Clear? That's why we say the Sanskrit word sam means good. Abdina in the samsara good essence. Appude reverse opposite meaning here. You derive and then you say it is exactly the opposite meaning that is used here. Sam means good. That's why we say sambandha, isn't it? Okay, when two families, families don't get married, two individuals only get married. Another family gets married. Two individuals gets married and the families gets united. And that union is called sambandha. One of the commonly used word in all the Tamil serial is what? Sambandhi. Ketale, you feel like, blood comes through the Yes, yes, sambandhi. There is no sum at all in that bandha, and yet it is called. Here, the samsara doesn't have the derivation of good. Here, the samsara means the essenceless looking as an essence, appearance of good. Samsara means the appearance of something good in that. What is samsara? The appearance that it is good. Because it appears to be good, you get carried away by that. Rest of it, rest of the meaning becomes very easy. You derive it like that, and then rest of it, you can create your own stories around it. It appears to be good. It appears to be meaningful to you. It appears to have a lot of essence. So it is the appearance. And this appearance is so vast, so big, so unfathomable, because everything looks very, very good. Everything looks very attractive, except one thing. What? We have seen that already, no? Moha and samsara are two sides of the same coin. What is moha? What is moha? The meaningless appears meaningful. The meaningless appears meaningful. That which is utterly useless appears to be very useful. That is moha. The other side of the coin is samsara. Because samsara means that moha expressing itself in the world by making sure that some things from the world is useful, beneficial. That is samsara. Kaha samsara. So 4 epigrams is giving. We'll go one by one, we'll take it up. But first we'll understand the meaning of the word samsara. The dependency on the external world makes you go around with the begging bowl. Again, I repeat. The dependency on the external world makes a human being go around with the begging bowl. And we have seen what is this begging bowl any number of times. In the definition, very hurtful definition. Aparna, I'm sorry. Yeah? Because all your definitions are very hurtful, sir. Change the definitions. Now, what do? You have to fight with Shankara only. I'm only parroting, Aparna. So give me pongal after the breakfast. So don't get upset with me. Yeah, I'm only parroting what Shankara says. What is the begging bowl that we go all the time? What is the begging bowl that we are having in the hand all the time? Correct. Make me happy. Adam begging bowl. Adam samsara. Make me happy. I carry that begging bowl with everybody and say, make me happy, make me happy, make me happy. How? What word to use now? See, begging bowl out of it is disgusting, no? Isn't it? You walk around with the begging, you walk around with this begging bowl, it's disgusting, isn't it? You will get hurt, but you will not drop the begging bowl. That's samsara. Again, I repeat, you will go around with the begging bowl, get beaten up, get hurt, but one thing you will not do is what? Drop the begging bowl. And at least someone will come and fill it up, no, sir? Some person will come and fill it up, no? This is samsara. What is samsara? You will get beaten up again and again and again, but you can't drop it. That's samsara. See, if you get beaten up, what you should be able to do, if you get beaten up, you should be able to drop it, no? What is it that is making you to hold on to it, even though you get beaten up again and again and again? But the moha, indescribable is that moha. Brahman is describable, very easy. Brahman is Tattvamasi, Kastame illa. Brahman is very easy, Tattvamasi, very easy. Adu kuda puriyilla, Aham Brahmasmi. So simple it is. This moha is something which is indescribable. Jnate tattve kaha samsara. What is this moha? What is the samsara? You go around with the begging bowl, get beaten up, but you will continue carrying the begging bowl. Why? The dependency. The dependency that keeps the hope alive. The dependency that keeps the hope alive. What is the hope? What is the hope? That one person will descend from heaven and make me feel fulfilled and make me feel happy. Not getting beaten up is samsara. Unable to drop even after getting beaten up is samsara. The inability to drop it, having gotten beaten up again and again and again. Urvati, Renduvatina, you can, again and again and again you get beaten. Are you able to follow? This is samsara. Samsara means voluntarily submitting yourself to get beaten up again and again and again. You go and submit yourself. Voluntarily, you submit yourself to get beaten up again and again. Because first time you do it, you can say, I didn't know. Second time you go, do the same thing. Third time you do. Fourth time you do. What would you call it as? Would you call it as ignorance? What would you call it as? Moha it is. Deluded it is. Again and again and again you do the same thing. It will be called only as, what word can you use it for that? Moha. And how the moha manifests, because we understand only through symptoms. Disease we cannot understand. Disease we cannot understand. Symptoms only, through symptom only we can understand the disease. So what is the symptom? Samsara is the symptom. Can't let go of samsara is the symptom. Samsara is what? Going around with the begging bowl, with the hope, and how much ever you get beaten up, the hope doesn't drop. That's why the Upanishad says, of vain hopes. Of vain hopes. The Upanishad says of vain hopes. Vain hopes means, at any point of time, this hope is not going to get fulfilled at all, but you believe that one day it will get fulfilled. Ida samsara. This is called samsara. Previous verse, he spoke about to the level of Jivan Mukti. Now he has come back again. Kanchana Kamini, he started, he went, suddenly he went to the Jivan Mukti level. Immediately he has come back again. From now on, the 4 practices will be described in stages. Satsanga, Nissanga, Nirmoha, Nischa. All that is going to be discussed from verse number 10 till the end. All that will be discussed in detail till the end. Antaranga sadhana, he will discuss. Bhajiranga sadhana, he is going to discuss everything. Everything will come up again and again and again. Only explaining the ladder of growth. So what is the ladder? So what is the thing that he is saying here? Jnate tattve kahasam saraha. No need to go out with the begging bowl. No need to go out with the begging bowl. Then how you should go out? You should go out instead of begging. How you should go out? Opposite of begging is giving. You should go out giving. Should go out giving. For you to give, you need to have it in abundance. For you to give, you need to have it in abundance. 3 examples which we will continue next week. Vayasi gate kaha kama vikaraha, sushke neere kaha kasaraha, shire vitte kaha parivaraha. 3 examples. Continuing that is the 4th one. Jnate tatve kaha samsaraha. So the formula is what? When the cause is gone, effect disappears. As long as the cause is there, then it comes with the corollary. As long as the cause is there, the effect will keep reappearing again and again and again. Again, as long as the cause is there, the effect will keep reappearing again and again and again. Therefore, when the truth is realized, where is samsara? Jnate tatve kaha samsara. Here the word tattva means the truth. Here the word tattva means knowledge also. 2 meanings. We'll study both. Knowledge of reality. Where is entanglement? Where is terrestrial entanglement? Where is samsara? Meaning, he's not asking you a question. He's saying it won't be there. He's not asking where is it. He's saying by asking where is it, he's saying it won't be. Correct. They don't exist. They cease to exist. Youth and lust. Youth is the cause, lust is the effect. Youth and lust. One example. Another example. Water is the cause, lake is the effect. Because where water collects is what is the lake. That is the second. The third, parivara is the effect, cause is wealth. Where wealth accumulates, there will be a parivar. Parivarna always there will be a group of people around. And you think the people are around for you. The parivar is forming for what? The parivar is not forming around you. The parivar is forming around the wealth. Therefore, when wealth is gone, parivar goes away automatically. Correct, no? Yeah. You are going bankrupt or become bankrupt. Will anybody answer your phone call? Assuming you are going bankrupt or you have become bankrupt. Nobody will even want to associate with you. Nobody will even want to come near you. The moment wealth accumulates, parivar comes. Therefore, one is the cause, another is the effect. One is the disease, another is the symptom. Parivar is the symptom. Lake is the symptom. Lust is the symptom. Go backwards, go backwards, go backwards. When you gain the knowledge, samsara, vanishes. You gain knowledge, samsara vanishes. We'll continue with this next week also. With this, we'll continue with this. We conclude for